what we're gonna do is see if we can get a whole brand concept idea straight out of Kittl. There's no other platform that I know of that gives you like templates along with the prompts that they use to get to here. And I'm about to show you how we're about to just do all this. Whoa, ho, 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 ho. Oh my God. Oh man, oh my God. God, I'm speechless. I showed you guys all the tools that you need to know, because like right now I'm using a lot of AI, but you still need to know how to like reformat things, change the color of the background, right? Change the text, resizing it, the shadow, maybe you want to add the shadow to it and whatnot. Even if you're using AI, you still need to learn how to use the actual tool itself so that you can move things around. Okay, so this is your full design tutorial video using Kittl. Just full transparency here. There's multiple design platforms out there. There's Photoshop, Illustrator. I started with Adobe products, but I've used Kittl throughout the past few years just because it's so easy to use nowadays. And at the end of the day, it's not what you use, it's how you use it. A little over 20 years ago, I changed my life just by picking up design. And I wasn't always sending in products, meaning, you know, physical goods using designs. Like I wasn't selling t-shirts, I wasn't selling canvases and so forth. Yes, those things makes lots of income, but in the beginning it can be overwhelming to get into these things. I originally started by selling graphic design as a service. I was selling nightclub ads, promotional ads, billboard designs, business card designs, and so forth. And you might be asking yourself, there's so many platforms out there, why don't everyone just create themselves? Well, the truth is, that's not their goal. They rather pay someone else to do it. And you might be saying to yourself, if everyone else is doing it, why should I do it? And if you're passionate about it, I'm gonna tell you what the difference is. The difference is you. That's it. So let's go ahead and hop into it. The beauty about a platform like Kittl, it starts with templates, but there's templates for almost everything. We teach a lot of t-shirts on here, but you know, you can also use it for marketing materials. You can use it for social advertisements such as Instagram stories, your YouTube thumbnails, banners, Facebook posts. It's really easy. For example, you can hop onto a website like Fiverr and sell designs. Like you can sell story designs right here, 20 bucks. This person already has 44 reviews, 20 bucks for a handful of designs. And there's just multiple things you can sell on here. Let's try flyer design. Just because people know about designing doesn't mean they're gonna go out there and do it, right? Just like knowing if you own a house and, you know, cutting the grass could be a waste of your time for you, it's easier for you to pay someone else to do it, right? So don't just think because everyone has access to Kittl means that they're all gonna use it. For example, this is how I got started right here, just like this, nightclub flyers. But back in my day, I used to sell it for 50 bucks, not 5 bucks. So huge difference nowadays. But anyways, so check it out. There's plenty of different designs, but we're gonna talk about actually how to use it, because it's one thing to go in there and just change templates, but if you don't understand how to use the platform itself, it's really confusing. So I can honestly get really lost with all these new features they have. This Kittl flows, man, I love it, man. It's incredible. But anyways, let's just start blank. Let's start blank, because if you don't know how to use it blank, then it's, you know, it's kind of difficult. So we need to go over the tools first. So first and foremost, this is standard on any design platform. You have to know what kind of canvas you're dealing with. So 72 DPI is going to be for the web, what you see online, like how you're seeing me right now. 300 DPI is typically for print, higher resolution, and typically when it comes to the size, right, if you're at 300 DPI, this is going to be what you see in real life. So for example, at 3.5 DPI, and this is paper size, it's going to come out like the same size as a sheet of paper. All right, so let's just go ahead and start with like a standard size, 1200 by 1200. Click create, and now we have a blank canvas, a blank artboard. So on here, we have the text tool. They have like preset templates. I can click on one, and as you can see, it gives me a template just like that. And I can resize it by using this little area right here, these little corner points, and as you can see, everything is sizing up with it, even though there's 3 boxes. And since this is a vector file, what you need to learn about is vector file raster. I feel like I've gone over it so many times, but at the end of the day, vector is graphics that are scalable designs made by mathematical paths. As you can see, like it has little points, and it pretty much has, I don't know how to explain properly, but it pretty much has an endpoint. So whenever you resize it, it knows the exact points to resize so that it holds its quality. I don't know. So raster is just an image. It's built out of pixels and not paths. So whenever you resize something like an image that you take, that's why the quality becomes lost, right? So that's the difference, and that's why I can resize it without any quality loss. So some great things to know too is whenever you right click and all these things. But let's just go ahead and go down your toolbox. So here we have illustrations. This is where you're going to see your shapes and whatnot. And as you can see, you'll have these little things like radius, and that's how you can like soften the corners and whatnot. And right here, if you do this, that's how things become out of proportion, but that's how you can also resize. But if you want it to keep it as proportions, you do it from the corner. So you have all kinds of shapes. You have mask over here. So with a mask, what you do with something like this is, if I have a picture, a raster image pulled up, I'm just going to pull it into that mask, and it's going to snap into that mask, into that shape. So a square is kind of hard to really see because it's a square. So if I go back over here and let's do this circle, and if I put down there, as you can see, it goes into the circle. And obviously there's like lots of shapes and whatnot you can deal with here. And sometimes you could just do a quick search, because you don't always want to waste your time just looking through things. So if I'm looking for a banner, I can look for multiple different banners here. They have like stock photos and whatnot you can use. Here we have like textures. Textures are awesome because it gives things texture. All right, so for example, this is a grunge texture right here, and I add it to the whole entire background. But if we make the background, so we need to go to our layers. Layers are very important. I'll make my way back down. But anyways, see, as you can see, I'm changing the color of the background, and now we have our grunge texture on top of it. Now we have likes. All this is, for example, I really like this, whatever this they have going on here. Looks like they have a flip our brand challenge going on that I was unaware of. I'm going to click the heart over here because I like this template. I can like any of these templates. And come on over here. Let's see if we can give it a quick little refresh. Okay, maybe not. All right, I'll just refresh the whole thing. And now we have all of our favorite templates in here. Now we have our brand kit. This is where, for example, if you have your own brand company and whatnot, you can save like the color palettes that you typically use a lot for that brand. Uploads. This is where you upload all of your own images. And then we have Kittl AI. Woo, this is where magic happens. So AI, obviously you can use it to create your designs with, you know, just AI, just words becoming images. So on to the next thing, we have the chat. This is completely new to me. I think you can kind of use it to create different things. I don't know. It sounds kind of AI-ish as well. And we'll play around with it. But layers, truly important to everything. This is pretty much the foundation of design platforms, for example. So let's go ahead and click on this. I'm going to copy and paste it real quick. I'm going to make this one red. And as you can see, maybe I don't want this in front. I want it in the back. I'll just click and drag it below. And that is how you have layers. So, you know, one layer on top of the other layer. So now let's go into our right clicking real quick. So as you can see, we have copy, we have paste. That's pretty self-explanatory. You have delete, but then we have ungroup. You see how this is grouped together? If I drop down right here, it's 3 different things. I'm going to right click and click ungroup. Now everything is separated. I can't just click on one thing and it's going to bring it all at once for me. If I click on this one, everything is stuck together. Grouping is truly important because eventually whenever you build out certain design products and it just has so many layers to it, and sometimes you want certain elements to stick together, that's what you're going to do. You're going to click group. Now what else do we have? We have quick export. You can pretty much just export that area as an image. You have outline text, so that turns it into a vector as well. I don't know how to explain that one. One day I'll be able to find words for you. Once again, I'm not perfect. I'm 20 years self-taught designer, have my degrees in graphic design and whatnot, my bachelor's degree in it. I made multiple millions of dollars in the industry of decorated products. You don't have to know everything to the T. People want you to be perfect and people's gonna clown on you because you don't know everything, but it's all good. All right, as long as you know enough to make the money. Right click it. We have eraser tool. You have to rewrite text, so you can pretty much generate text here. It's an example. I have no idea what that is neither. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I just know how to get you from here to making a few dollars. All right, so damn, this kind of sucks. I told you this is gonna be the ultimate video of learning design, but it's the ultimate video of knowing what you need to know, right? So now we have flip horizontal, and then we have flip vertical. Obviously self-explanatory. It's kind of hard to see this too. So we're gonna make that white. I'm gonna bring it back. So here's another thing that's important as well. For example, let's say I want this to stay here and I'm trying to mess with this design here, but sometimes I end up clicking on this one, but I like it right there. You're gonna right click and you're gonna lock it, so that whenever you're clicking on things, you're not going to accidentally click on this right here, and it just stays still. To unlock it, you go back to your layers and you'll find that layer right here. It has this little little lock on it. You unlock it and then it's unlocked. So all these little things I'm telling you, it sounds like it's not important, but I promise you it is. And then this right here is how you can also deal with layers without coming to this section. For example, you just click to front and then you can do to back. Some people use forward and backward. That's just going to bring it one layer up, and usually I like to just use to front and to back. That way it brings it all the way up. Make sense? All right. So now we're going to talk about this side right here, which is going to be like your properties box. You're dealing with all your properties here, meaning like the sizes, the opacity, the actual dimensions of the actual text of whatever you're selecting. So for example, here's another thing that you need to know. Man, there's a lot going on. So I'm going to come over here. This is where you pretty much deal with the file. So some people like to have a grid so they can have an idea of like, you know, where the text is sitting on and whatnot. And, you know, it's really nice and pretty, right? So I don't really use grids too much, but I do like to use the rulers right here. Boom. I can see the sizes of this file. This is in pixels. I typically like to deal in inches. So now I know what's going on in inches up here. And then you can also put on your margins if you want to, and settings, and we're pretty much good. Some people like this dark mode, some people like light mode. I'm honestly kind of a fan of light mode. Actually, I really don't know. I used to love light mode until Photoshop just started coming in default as dark mode. And then I just got used to dark mode. But regardless, on over here, this is alignment tool. So I'm going to click this, centers everything to the artboard, centered, right? If I do this, left side, this, right side, this, very top, this, very bottom, this, middle. This right here, I think that's for like to clean things up if you have multiple like paragraphs or something. But here's another thing you might not know. So if I do that, it centers it, right? But watch what happens if I do this. If I select both of these things and I click center. These center these two elements to each other and not necessarily centering it to the artboard. Make sense? See, for example, I'm gonna select these two. Let's do left alignment. It's gonna left align this thing. Let's go ahead and do this right here. So what I'm gonna do this and click the artboard. Now click center. Boom, centers everything. So I know that doesn't sound important, but I promise you that becomes very important. Now let's go ahead and look at the colors. There's colors right here. Boom, boom, boom. Pretty cool, right? Also document colors. That's an awesome thing as well. For example, any color that's on the actual document itself, you can select it so you're not guessing and it's the same exact color every single time. Boom, that red. Pretty nice, right? Let's say you want a specific color that's on the artboard and you can't figure out which document color it is. You click on this eyedropper. I'm gonna click on this gray. Boom, now it's that gray color. All right, so now lower opacity. That means like the visibility of it is lowered. Now text style is pretty self-explanatory. We have border. That's the pretty much like, you know, creating the little stroke, the little line on the inside of the actual image. Kind of hard to see here, but let's zoom in. And there's another thing I'm doing right now that you're going to learn that's very important as well, which is shortcuts. But I'll explain that to you in just a second after we get through the properties. And I think you should be pretty caught up. So I'm just going to make these a few letters. That way we can resize it and it's easier for you to see. So for example, we have the border weight. Everything's in black. But if I put one here, as you can see, it creates that border, that stroke. But that's just on the inside. Let's say you want on the outside, it's all the way down here with the text shadow. But here we still have the different fonts. We have transformation. As you can see, that like gives it like an angle. We have the arches. We have this thing right here. We can distort it to whatever you want it to be. We have the circle. We have an arch. We have rise. We have wave. We have flag. And remember, although these things say like flag and whatnot, that's just kind of the basic shape. What could potentially be close to what you want it to be. Because what you can do is always change these pinpoints and then do whatever you want it with it that you need. For example, sometimes you're putting it on a banner. I'm going to go ahead and show you. I'm going to click this. Here's a banner right here, right? And then now I'm going to click on this and you see, this is where tools already become important. Look, this is back here. Hello, I want it in the front. Right click to front. Boom. Now I'm over here. Now we're gonna click rise. We're gonna move it on over here. Let's go ahead and resize it real quick. And as you can see, look, I try to double click the font, but all of a sudden I'm on this banner. It's in my way. What do? We right click and we lock it. So now I have my fonts here. Banner font. And as you can see, it doesn't fit this box. Well, it's okay because text style is there. But let me show you. You see how it's like that? Sometimes you need to stretch it out like this. And it's kind of hard to explain why that's also important and why that functions the way it is. But one day you'll run into a problem and you'll see why. So that's just one of those real world, real life situations where you're like, oh, I need to do this. All right, so now what I'm going to do is click on transformation. We're going to click on, let's see which one's closest. We'll just do rise. For example, flag. It looks like it could be flag, but we'll do rise. And then now, boom, bring this down here. Boom, bring that up a little bit. And then we'll bring this in, even bring this one up a little more, stretch it out a little bit. Boom, bring that up a little more. Boom, bring that down. Boom, bring this back down. Something like that. So now we have our banner font and it's in the shape of the banner. So that's where transformation comes in handy. I'm gonna reset it. You can click on text shadow. As you can see, you have that little shadow showing. There's multiple different shadow types. If you want the stroke on just the outside, you go to this one. Offset, angle, the outline width. Now check that out. Now you have that. And as you can see, it has like this inner color, I believe. I'm not sure what that is from. Maybe one of these colors. Okay, I'm not exactly sure. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. But I don't want to take up too much of your time. I want you guys to get started making some money. Text decoration. It's multiple different styles. So that's pretty much that. You have the toolbox. You have the properties. You have the right click. Now, if you want to move faster, what you need to learn is this little guy right. Where are you? Let's try it right here. Help and shortcuts. So we have a list of shortcuts. It's a whole lot. What I'll tell you, some of the most important things that I know. Holding control and doing this right here. Scrolling in and out. Sometimes you get stuck. Man, I never knew how to let me get over here, to this area of the artboard. Hold spacebar, hand tool, boom, boom. Zoom in over here. Man, I can't move over there. Boom, hold spacebar, all right? And then you just have Control C, Control V, copy and paste. All the other things, you just kind of learn as you experiment. For example, I'm doing this. And sometimes if I hold control, maybe it does something. No, I'm Photoshop Illustrator does. Let me try shift. Nope. Let me try alt. So alt does do something. As you can see, this is when I'm stretching it out without holding alt. It's resizing it that way. If I hold alt, it's resizing it directly in the center. All right. Now it's time to make some money. All right. So now it just depends what you want to do. You're making someone a logo. You can start with a logo design. And this is the beauty of AI nowadays. It's kind of a beauty and not a beauty. Some people say it's destroying art. But for me, it makes things easier. Let's go ahead and try this chat box, right? What we're gonna do is see if we can get a whole brand concept idea straight out of Kittl. So this is something called Stay Nest. Maybe that's for an app or something. Let's just start with that. Let's come up with our whole own idea just based off of this. I'm making a Kittl video. Let's try to make some kind of brand that I can make designs for. I'm guessing I don't know if I want to do an Airbnb app. Give me some different ideas. Maybe a hotel app. Give me the color schemes I should do with it. Think about a lot of things I could create off of it. Maybe the logo, some social media post, some flyer designs, the merch for it. And let's just start with that. All right, so what we're gonna do is exit out of this and we're going to create a brand called Starlight Stays. It's gonna be like a hotel concept with starlights. So now, I don't know what's up with that. Let's go ahead and click on over here, get a few stars going, and let's just start with this. No, I don't like that. So I brought an image over. Although it looks like a vector image, it's not just yet. I guess maybe it is, but you still need to vectorize it so that we could actually change the color. Now it's black. We're gonna make it white. I actually really only want a few of these stars. I'm gonna re-rasterize it, which kind of sucks, rasterizing something and then re-vectorizing it. I should have actually erased it first and then vectorize it. So let's do something like this. Boom. Let's re-vectorize it, make it white. And now this is where AI becomes magic. So I don't really like how this logo looks. I'm gonna add a smart board. That's their AI process on here. There's actually a different AI process. You can actually use AI right here, describe what you want, explore different styles based off of whatever it is that you need. But I actually like to use their smart board. So we can try a few different things. Try this prompt right here, clean logo on deep indigo background. Gonna do one more. Gonna do mid-century logo for this one. And let's try one more. Some kind of modern travel logo right here. All right, so we have all those things. So the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm just searching templates that I actually like. For example, we can create a whole menu for a hotel. We can create the flyers for it. We can create, look at that. That's pretty cool. There's all kinds of templates we can do. I like this one right here. It's we can do a free breakfast concept at this hotel, or something crazy text wise where it's kind of creative. Make our hotel stand out. We can almost do something like this as well. It makes it feel like a kid friendly hotel. I like this. You can do merch for the hotel. So we'll do a little bit of everything really fast, nothing too crazy, but it just gives you an idea of how you could go from, design and concept and being able to make money off of it by selling someone your service. For example, we're working for a hotel right now, but you could be working for anybody. It just depends on whatever project that you're actually getting. So I'm opening all of these things. So I'm back over here. Look at that Starlight Stays. We have that one. We have this one as well. This one kind of looks it gives me kind of almost like cabin beachy Levi's, I'm not sure. This one looks like an app. That one looks pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie to you, I like the light, but that's not very useful when it comes to like print and whatnot. But looks pretty nice. That could be used in like a video commercial or something. And there you doubt. I do like this one though. I like how more simple it is. I like the colors. Originally we started with this one, and I'm honestly probably still going to use this one. I'm just going to start to use the other color. So for example, remember, if we like this color, we're going to click here, use our eyedropper tool. Boom. Now we have this nice little blue hex color right here. Also like all these additional stars for it. And by itself, we can use something like this. But now we have all these additional elements. Now I'm going to come on over. Let's click on this one. So here's another thing I haven't taught you about, which was artboards. So click on copy, and we can have more than one artboard on one document. So now I'm gonna head on back over to my original, hit paste, and after I paste it, I have this over here. And cool, I have myself some kind of flyer, but it looks very tropical. It doesn't look like something that we're selling or, you know, something we're creating for. So we can have to start to create everything in kind of the same brand theme. We have one of our flyer designs that we're going to use here. We're going to, what else do we open up? All right, so we have our merch design. Just going to copy paste this over here. Now, ooh, I really love this. I don't know what we're gonna do here, but man, it gives me so many ideas. And I love how they have like the smart boards on here and the prompts that they use to create these artboards. And now, man, this is incredible. There's no other platform that I know of that gives you like templates along with the prompts that they use to get to here. And I'm about to show you how we're about to just steal all this. So this is crazy. All right, so this gives us everything already, man. All right, so excuse me, you guys. I'm just buffering. I'm buffering a little bit. So this is what I'm gonna do. Boom. I'm gonna screenshot this. Gonna open up Trustio ChatGPT. I like everything that Kittl created here. I'm gonna use my mic. They created a whole brand based off of this thing called Drip Kid. It looks like it's a coffee shop. But right now I want to create designs made for my hotel called Starlight Stays. So let's go ahead and start with prompts for the Drip Kid. Let's change that into the Starlight Stays logo and then pretty much create everything else based off of that. So I need the prompts for the doodle, and then for the doodle board guy, I want it to be not like coffee stuff. I want it to be like Starlight Hotel Stays stuff, like think about elements for a hotel. Man, it's crazy how I just talked to ChatGPT like that, bro. I don't even know how I live without AI at this point. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and hop in over here. Actually, I know exactly what to do. So I probably messed you guys up a little bit, but anyways, we're gonna come back on over here. Boom, we're just over here. I have this guy, and now we're gonna create our smart board based off of this logo because I did like this one. I'm gonna come over here, gonna click on this smart board, click copy that. They already gave me all this like prompt stuff based off of what I said. That's cool. But now I'm gonna put this. I don't know if you guys can use ChatGPT the same way I do, but this is how I've always been using it. Okay, so here's the prompt that Kittl used for their doodle board. I want a doodle board for Starlight Stays, just based off of this prompt, but here's the color palette that I've liked. I don't know if it's white or cream, but then it has kind of that navy blue, so use those midnight blue palettes. And give me a prompt for that doodle board based off of this, and then some hotel elements. So do I create my own prompts? No, because it takes too much time. You can have AI create your prompts for you. I don't know if you ever thought about that. So here, boom, we have this. Look at that. Give me all my things. Sipping cocktails under the stars, lounging by a rooftop pool, rolling luggage through a lobby. So now we're gonna take that, paste it. Boom. Now we're gonna do generate. And then after that, we're gonna come on back over here. So now we have this little mock-up. So now, ooh, this is the prompt that they use right after the doodle board to create some kind of cool mock-up. Let's create a prompt for us for the mock-up after we get our doodle art. All right, cool. Just gonna go ahead and copy that. Let's hop on over here. Still loading. It says about 20 seconds, so it's not entirely too fast, but it works. So I love this, and it looks like they created this flyer themselves based off of this image that they got. Okay, so that's pretty cool. So we're gonna create this like little mock-up, give us a little bit of a vibe, and then we're gonna create like this little hotel front end mock-up, and then we're gonna create a nice little flyer, and then we'll create some merch, like some coffee cups for the actual hotel itself. So it's just crazy how you can get whole brand ideas just based off of AI and just the design platforms nowadays. It blows my mind. You guys have no idea. If you guys started 20 years ago, you would dream of this stuff and wish it existed. All right, cool. Look at that. Boom, man. Boom. Now, gonna do this. Just take my new prompt, large scale mural. Boom. Damn, man, that is crazy. All right, so now What do we do here? So did they tell it what text to put here? Use 4-6 words. Okay, so they made it. They made it give the slogan. They didn't say stay fresh always. But anyways, this is the prompt that they use for the mock-up of the cafe. Remember, we're doing a hotel, so let's do a mock-up for a hotel, not necessarily a cafe. So now we're gonna create another artboard, generate, see what else they had going on. Now we need something like this. I'm gonna paste this. I'm also gonna provide this image to ChatGPT so they know what I'm referencing, or I'm gonna talk to it. So I really love this shot that Kittl created right here. It's like a top-down image of some donuts and whatnot, and they have the logo on the donut boxes. Let's do something that gives us a hotel vibe, like maybe top-down shot of a really soft pillow, maybe a kid sleeping on one side, an adult sleeping on the other one. Like, I don't know, like they're having a good time. That's one idea. Maybe the other idea is like some kind of breakfast funny photo, something like that, and then make like almost we are roasting another hotel, like we're saying we got better breakfast than any other hotels. Give me some ideas first and then we'll create the prompt. God damn, look at that. Whoa. Man, that's crazy, ain't it? So I would honestly liked it if we didn't do like this like flat thing and that was like a silver icon ordeal, and I bet you we could change it, but we'll come back towards that one at the end. Look at that. That could be like the inside of the hotel. Starlight, comfort, and friends. Man, I love that. It came up with that slogan itself. Did ChatGPT do that? Oh, it did. So we gave it that. God, I love that. Starlight, comfort, and friends. So we have a few different ideas right here. Get the pillow idea, the competitive one, roasting other hotels. Bye-bye, boring bagels, your free waffles, quaking. Better than your aunt's B&B. Better than your free Hilton waffles. Hampton's eggs are crying. And we could do some kind of like funny guy with his badge that says Hampton and he's crying about his eggs or something. I don't know. Our croissants crawled. They want their spotlight back. Sorry, Hilton, our pillows win. Good night, Hampton. Hello, heaven. Okay, I don't really like chain hotels come to take notes. That's all okay. Let's just go ahead and go with the breakfast. Let's try this prompt right here out. All right, so what did it take to get to this prompt? Just the logo straight to that box. So generate, no, I'm sorry. We're gonna click artboard. Let's try this one right here. This is why I love Kittl. You can't beat this. You can't beat this. No one else is giving you whole full-on creative design concepts. And I'm sorry if like I just look like I'm still, I pretty much am, man. I'm creatively burnt out over 20 years. And I'm gonna do whatever shortcut it takes for me to get the project done for my client. My client loves it, and you know, I didn't necessarily steal this from someone else. I'm all for it. I do not care. Like, I love this. This is incredible. Oh my God. All right, so now, God, I'm speechless. I don't like this right side right here. Yes, it's like it's a little out of place. Yes, that's steak. Yes, it's free. Oh man, this is crazy. Is that not crazy? So I know you could just do, I think on here, let me try to convert it to an image real quick. And then you could use, okay, I thought they had like an AI eraser. So like you could do something like this and then just have it replace that area, but I must be mistaken. So what you could do though, is you could just use the prompt again. Hopefully it will fix it. But now let's head back on over here. They did this flyer right here. I'm gonna copy this whole goddamn thing, paste it on over here. And man, I'm gonna change this background color. Remember you guys, just do this right here, document colors, delete this guy. Once again, click on this one, document colors. That's not it. Let's try this one. Here we are. All right, now, boom. What's going on? Oh, I see it. It's a whole bunch of gradients. Boom. Oh, we're not using that same blue color. We're using this new blue color here. So boom, I'm gonna stretch this artboard on down like that. So now instead, I'm actually gonna have to click on this, and now we use our eyedropper tool for that color. Boom. Boom, something like that's pretty decent. The problem is that this image does have some noise to it. So I know how to add it in Photoshop. I'm not gonna lie to you, I don't know how to add it in Illustrator. You could probably just add a texture on top of everything at the end. Some kind of like noise texture. Yeah, I'm not too sure, but you kind of get away with it. Man, that is crazy. All right, so I'm gonna screenshot that. What should I change the top text to, where it says like one design, endless direction, stuff like that for our hotel breakfast flyer. So now let's just go ahead and get another smartboard going on. Gonna kind of give our mood going on for like our image of our workers. Stay bright, eat big, breakfast, but make it luxe. The free upgrade you're craving. So what can we add here? Hotels can't compete. Continental, we don't know her. I like that. Continental, we don't know her. I don't know. We could probably go with something else, but I do kind of like that. I don't even know. Continental, we don't know her. That's funny. All right, so something like that, and then we could put our logos up here. Just gonna use that one for now. Boom, something like that, right? All right, so now we got our Starlight Stays guy over here. Sorry, not a guy, but they didn't do a good job with the colors on that one. But look, you got the whole vibe going on. And finally, let's just create some merch for it real quick. What's some cool merch ideas, designs we could do? All right, so now let's go ahead and create our one last thing, which is our merch design. Honestly, I could do this all day, and if you watched to this point, I showed you guys all the tools that you need to know, because like right now I'm using a lot of AI, but you still need to know how to like reformat things, change the color of the background, right? Change the text, resizing it, the shadow, maybe you want to add the shadow to it and whatnot. You still, even if you're using AI, you still need to learn how to use the actual tool itself so that you can move things around. Man, I really love this. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Starlight, Comfort, and Friends. This is crazy. In 20 years, if there's a hotel named Starlight Stays, that'd be cool. That's it. I was gonna say you guys owe me some money, but you guys don't. You guys put it to fruitation. All right, so let's just wait on this one last thing. We're gonna get a merch design, and I'm gonna mock it up, and you pretty much have everything that you need to know to even just start selling designs, even on a small platform like this. This probably took me, says 57 minutes, and half of that was explaining it to you. This took me 30 minutes to create. Starry Nights, Better Mornings. Man, that's pretty crazy. So you could literally create designs, have a client pay at the very least like 50 bucks for this in 30 minutes, without a doubt. So they do have mockups on here as well. Let's just click on this nice little mockup button. Oh man, let's click on this guy. All right, cool. So now he's a little too streetwear for us. Let's try to do a little eyedropper. It's probably not the perfect one. So with the eyedropper, we need to go back to editor, and then what we need to do instead is we need to get the color from here. So we could convert this to an image, or probably even vectorize it. So now we have our hex color right here. And now we're gonna head back on over to mockup. I like this whole floral style. I think the guy was just a little too streetwear. But anyways, right here, now we have the hex color. We need to paste it right here. So that's an exact match. Ooh, man. This guy could work at like the cafe at the place. He could be serving up the steak, you know? Low tide. What is this host at? Man, they've come up with some new mockups. These are all AI, I could tell, but these look good. I kind of like this one. What if it was nighttime? What if, all right, I'm gonna throw one last curveball at you guys. This is about to be crazy, but we could do it. What if we've turned this into a nighttime image using AI? All right, so we're gonna save this. We're gonna go back. So let's try this one last thing right here. So what we need to do is throw this guy on an artboard. I think there's one last thing I didn't show you guys. So he's just an image floating out in space. Now we need to throw him on the actual artboard so that we can actually give it like some prompts, or if we need to save it something, we can't just save it if it's like an image out on its own. It has to be on the artboard whenever we actually click save, which is this download button right here. Now, of course, you could change it to 300 DPI or 72 DPI here as well, and into the dimensions that you need. But now we're gonna leave it off with this last thing, and I think we could be good to go with this whole project. Boom, man. Oh my god. Oh man. All we need to do is like brighten up this little area. Like somehow we could actually convert it to image, and we could do something like photo filter. I'm sure we can brighten this up a little bit or something. I have no idea. We could, oh, here's the noise from earlier that we was looking for that flyer. Man, so they do have everything. Turn that vibrance up, saturation, no, maybe brightness. Bro. So at the end of the day, man, like 20 years ago, I got into this whole thing about design, and obviously there's times throughout my journey that, you know, you just hit rock bottom, but that's just a part of life. The thing is, whenever you learn a skill where you can just pull money out of thin air, you'll never have to truly starve again. So don't overthink things, you guys. You guys can go a long way just by learning a skill and actually selling it as a service. And from there, you'll learn all those other things where you could turn into a product, hire out other designers, and just become a really, really big star. I'm truly in love with this photo, man. That vibe is so much better than this one right here. And that was because of a mock-up that they actually have. And then we edit to their mock-up. I don't even want to cut this video off because I love this right here. So that's it. I hope this video helped you out. It's a little long-winded, but if you made it through the whole thing, then this video is going to be probably one of the most extremely helpful things you probably watched with your entire time of knowing about Kittl. All right, so go ahead and comment, like, subscribe. Let me know if this video helped you out because it is long. I need to know if you watched the whole thing, and I'll make more videos just like this. See you on the next one.